technology was here to help us work out the bugs, and we're good to go.
All right, at this time, we are going to call the public hearing to order. Mr. Price.
So Indiana statute defines the process that a school corporation must follow in developing, reviewing, and adopting an annual budget. The board took these initial steps in the budgetary process by granting the authority to advertise the 2026 budget information. Following the board's approval, the proposed 2026 budget information was posted online at budgetnotices.in.gov. Board members, you've had forms 1 through 3 for your review of the 2026 budget. These forms are generated through the Gateway program that the state uses for budget submission. It's now time to proceed with another major step in this process, and that is conducting a public hearing on the 2026 budget. In the advertising notice, it stated that taxpayers appearing at this meeting shall have the right to be heard. So at this time, I invite any taxpayer who would like to speak concerning the 2026 budget. Anybody who wants to speak on the budget?
This time, do we have any taxpayer who would like to speak on the 2026 budget? Hearing none at this time, the public hearing is now closed, and we'll move on to the regular school board meeting. At this time, would you all please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, at this time, I call the meeting of the Rock-Hawcreek School Corporation for Tuesday, October 21st, 2025 to order at 7:02 p.m. with all members present. At this time, we're going to go to item number 3 on the agenda, the approval of minutes for the October 7th, 2025 meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the minutes of October 7th, 2025.
Second. Got a motion and a second. Any discussion this evening? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next up, item number 4, public comment. And we do have public comment from David Webster this evening.
Are you going to read all that?
He might.
Fortunately for you, no. It's just a sample of the collection of material I've said over the years related to education.
Good.
First of all, I would just like to comment on the Colossus of Hope. I just think that's a real credit to this community. Just at Tony Gardner's celebration of life, Hauser graduate. Tony hadn't been in Hope for years, but there were a lot of people there. That's so typical of Hope. And then I also wanted to make a comment about A.C. Reeves, who took his last breath not too long ago. A.C. asked if I could get with Sean, the school corporation, and Susan Verify for the Yellow Trail Museum, because he thought he had some material that would be very helpful. And that meeting was great. Thank you, Sean, for organizing that. AC was a very good individual, very important individual to this town. He was in the first class to go through all 4 years at Hauser. And every veterans program, he was a part of the Honor Guard. AC. He meant a lot to a lot of people. No doubt about that. Next of all, it's always good to see former students in such a role. 3 up there. Pat, unfortunately, did not have you as a student, but we worked together. Dr. Harker, we miss one another. I wonder why. But I had your sons. Yeah. Missy, missed you. Kind of like Pat, I guess, right? Crosscliff? Or
St. Peter's.
St. Peter's. Oops. St. Peter's. And of course, Sean missed you, right? I have something here for Dr. Harker. I noticed this wonderful tribute by our MC for your information, has received around 1,500 views. That's pretty impressive, and you're very deserving of that. 13 years at RMC. Wow. How many years have you been in school, remember, Dr. Herker?
This will be 32.
32 years. That's being committed. Thank you, sir. Appreciate all your time and effort. Yeah, I brought this because I suspect I started collecting material when we had No Child Left Behind. There's one document after the other within this binder. And I'm sometimes wondering how much progress we have made in education. I know this school corporation has done amazing things. I did a Hope Intermediate flight to the top, and by the way, I'm probably already beyond 3 minutes, but I don't see very many people in line.
So I'm fine if they're, thought the board is fine.
We can extend it. We do have other business to get to at some point, but we'll give you the hook when we need to move on to that. So
Thank you. I started in 2002, it extended to 2010. There are 20 positive things about this school corporation. The one in particular really stands out. Hauser Junior Senior High bronze rating among 27 Indiana high schools honored in the nation from U.S. News and World Report. That's pretty impressive. Let's go on. In 2024, I received this from Terry Gooden. I think Terry is now somehow or another connected to Indiana Rural School Development. I'm not 100% for sure.
he's back in the superintendency now, and I think he's an interim at Salem.
I noticed that too. Is he also still with the other organization?
I'm not sure if if he's still in that role or not, but I know he was transferring back into education.
So I received this June 27th, 2024. This is when he was running for a political office, by the way. Last year, Flat Rock-Hawcreek schools lost 3.1% of our students to vouchers. Throughout the last 5 years, our Flat Rock-Hawcreek schools have lost $900,000 to private schools outside of our community. Rural schools and their students deserve better. And recently I received this from our representative, Jennifer Meltzer. Indiana's leading the way in education and delivering results for students. Indiana's new state budget increased K through 12 funding by $640 million, a 5% increase, and the highest funding level to date for Hoosier students. Nearly half of our state budget supports K through 12 education. I don't particularly want to put any of you on the spot right now, but I'm just wondering, who's right, who's wrong? Or are we somewhere in between? So I don't know if any of you want to say anything at this point or not. And then found this article in the Republic. By the way, I think we have someone from the Republic here. And your name is?
Eric Hackman.
Yeah. Welcome to Rock-Hawcreek County.
Thank you.
And you're covering school board meetings for Flat Rock-Hawcreek as well as Rock-Hawcreek
Yep.
County?
Yep.
Such an easy job. Anyway, the title of this is, I just cut this out. It's by Casey Smith, Indiana Capital Chronicle, and it's for the Republic. It says, Indiana Fiscal Policy Panel weighs salary gaps, educator shortage. So, back to this binder. How How long has that been going on? It's been going on for a long time. Starts out, new data shows that while Indiana teacher pay has climbed in recent years, Hoosier educators still earn less than peers in neighboring states. A gap union leaders and some legislators say threatens teacher retention and classroom success. And from the Legislative Services Agency, though average salaries rose about 4% from 2024 to 2025, the Legislative Service Agency staff told the committee that when adjusted for inflation, median wages for teachers and administrators have actually declined since 2020. And then Joel Hand, representing both the American Federation of Teachers of Indiana and the Indiana School Social Workers Association, commented that Indiana currently ranks 39th in the nation for average teacher salary, citing data from the National Education Association. I don't know for sure where that Rock-Hawcreek falls. And then he goes on to say, the latest data from the State and National School Social Worker Association showed that Indiana has a student-to-social worker ratio of 1,829 to 1, massively above the recommended ratio of 251. I will be honest, I did not know that social workers were a part of school corporations now. I'm well aware counselors are. And I'm wondering what kind of ratio we have in this school corporation for a counselor to students. That's pretty important to consider. And then Representative Jeff Thompson, we've seen the data, Thompson said, now we need to figure out what levers we can pull. So, what levers can we pull? Again, the same one has been going on forever. When are we going to figure it out? I don't know. Maybe some of you have the answers. Thank you very much for your time. And by the way, Rock-Hawcreek did an excellent job educating our two daughters. Bethany, who's now teaching first grade here, has been for some time. Haley, who's at Abbott in Columbus, Ohio, and I almost hate to say this, she's making several times more than our daughter Bethany. I don't know if that makes any sense whatsoever. And now you're doing an excellent job with our two grandsons. Gibson, who's in first grade, second grade. Second grade. Time just goes right by, doesn't it, dear? And Rowan, who's in kindergarten. And you're saying wrap it up? You want to follow up in there? I put your name on the list. Thanks again.
Thank you, Mr. Webster.
Thank you for your comments. Is there any other public comment? Okay.
No time for anybody else.
Oh, you're good.
All right, hearing no other public comment tonight, we'll move on to item number 5 on our agenda, which is the approved payroll and vendor claims.
We have the payroll dates of September 26th and October 10th.
I move we approve the payroll and vendor claims as presented.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. All right, next up, item number 6 this evening, personnel. Mr.
Okay.
Price.
We have a few personnel items for you tonight. First off is our normal slate of volunteers. There's a lengthy list in your packet and on the board for the visitors to see. So I'm just asking that we approve these volunteers here as part-time night custodian. Mr. President, I recommend the board approve James Mayer as the part-time custodian. And no, this is not our current teacher, James Mayer. It's another James Mayer.
Mr. Chairman, I move we hire James Mayer as part-time custodian.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of hiring James Mayer as a part-time night custodian signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Custodian Jamie Coolman submitted her letter of resignation effective immediately. I ask the board approve Jamie Coolman's resignation as presented.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the resignation of Jamie Coleman signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
That concludes the personnel section.
All right, next up, we'll move on to item number 7, superintendent's report.
Okay, first up, we have our policy, our final readings. The list is long and on the board. You've had these for a few weeks now. If you have specific questions, we can then do that once I'm going to make the recommendation that we approve the second reading, or the final reading of these policies that were updated by Church for us to meet the state statute in many circumstances.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the policies as updated.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passes.
All right. And next up, I have a recommendation to ratify our master contract between our collective bargaining agreement between the Teachers Association and our school board. The summary that we did our TA meeting last time on, I'll just recap that we were able to come to agreement on a $1,500 increase for all returning teachers. That would bring our new starting salary to $47,500, and our scale would top out at $80,700. I've got copies here if anybody wants to review the master contract, but you guys have had this. I sent that over the weekend to you, the revisions in there. We also added the early literacy endorsement. Many of our teachers are receiving that now. There was an extra $150 to the base that would go to anyone holding that literacy endorsement. The board also agreed to pick up the 3% increase on insurance, so that would not be passed on to our employees. I think at the last meeting you also included our non-certified staff in that insurance pickup, so we do appreciate your help there. And then we had a few changes to our extracurricular pay schedules, and really the main thing there was that if you are an employee at Flat Rock, Rock-Hawcreek, and you are going to coach for us, you're going to be bumped to the top of the scale. So we're trying to make sure that we're retaining and incentivizing teachers to become coaches and be part of the students' lives in that way. So I think that was a good move as well. So that's kind of a summary of the agreement. We've got 2 representatives, our co-presidents for the HCA or TA are here tonight, which they ratified early in October after we had already settled. And so now the next step is for you guys to ratify. So I'm recommending that we ratify the master contract this evening so that we can get everything put in place for the new contract for this school year. And I will just note that typically we've done 2-year contracts. This is going to be a 1-year contract as we look at the uncertainty with the budget situation and some of the changes with the state. We didn't feel comfortable going out beyond this school year. So, Mr. President, I recommend the board approve the master contract for the 25-26 school year.
So moved. Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion on the master contract this evening?
I would like to make a comment. I appreciate the way things have gone the last few years. I was in there several years ago, usually after the contract, it would take 6 months to a year before anybody would talk to each other again. And very unpleasant, but this has been extremely nice, and we certainly appreciate everything that the Teachers Associations do for our school. Thank you.
I echo that. I've been on kind of both sides too, and you're right, it's been extremely cooperative the last several years.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval of the master contract as presented signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Okay, thank you for that. And just an update, what we do from this point, there'll be, get your signatures tonight. There will be some small grammatical changes. We'll have to look at the table of contents, make sure everything lines up there before we upload. But we have to have this uploaded for the 1st of November. here tonight. We're glad we got this finished. Any comments? Okay. Put them on the spot. All right. Again, parent-teacher conferences, yes, it's been a long night for everybody, so we appreciate you being here. All right. Thank you so much. Next up, we have a recommendation, really comes from Mr. Royer. We were talking about, sent you some corporation vehicles. We currently have, what year is our Explorer? 2016. It's had some mechanical issues, continued to have more mechanical issues creeping up on us. It's a recommendation from our maintenance department and JB, myself, that we replace the vehicle. I sent you some ideas for what we may replace it with. What I think we want to do is go ahead and just get an approval up to a certain amount so that we can maybe do some shopping and get some competitive pricing. Doc's already reached out and gave us an idea of maybe who to talk to in Greensburg. We can talk to some different dealerships and look around. It makes the most sense in our minds to move away from an SUV type of vehicle and go with another pickup where we can fix it with another snow blade. We have this property now to maintain along with our current campus. If we had 2 plows and then we've got a Bobcat with the box, it'll just make more hands on deck when it comes to bad weather, salting areas, taking the salt spreader out, things like that. It makes a lot more sense. We very rarely use the SUV to transport students. When we do have those situations, if we get an extended cab truck, there isn't any reason that couldn't be, because at most we've taken two, three students. So those are all considerations that we looked at when talking about what our next purchase should be. The recommendation I'd like to make is that we authorize the administration to look and purchase a vehicle not to exceed $45,000, and looking at both used and new vehicles that meet the specifications. And like I said, you have some samples of what that could look like in your packet. I know that the maintenance techs and JB argue over Ford or Chevy or Dodge, but we'll let them hammer that out, and JB this will be his daily driver as well, so just to put that out there. So we'll let him weigh in heavier on it than most. But so, Mr. President, I recommend the board approve the purchase of a corporation vehicle not to exceed $45,000.
So, second.
Got a motion and a second. Any other discussion this evening? All right, hearing none, all those in favor of the motion to approve the $45,000 not to exceed on the purchase of a new vehicle for the corporation signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
And just to clarify, that will be purchased out of bond proceeds and not come out of our operating fund. That concludes the superintendent's report.
All right, we'll move on to item number 8 on our agenda this evening is other business.
The only thing I have is just a reminder that our next meeting is on Monday, November the 3rd. That's the day we need to approve the 26 budget, and so that's why it's on a Monday rather than the Tuesday. So please let us know if there's any problems. Okay, so we've got one. Are there 4 of you? Any conflicts?
Should be good.
Okay, we just need to make sure we have 3.
We did mention maybe about moving it up, or not.
So we'd already advertised that the date that it needed to be, so to meet the deadline for the number of days we needed to advertise, we had to keep it, so.
I should be good on the 3rd.
Yes, yeah, 7. November 3rd at 7 o'clock in this room. And I would imagine it'll be a pretty light meeting. Again, we need to do the budget approvals, as that's the last day to get those finalized for this year. Okay, that's all the other business I have.
All right, does anybody else have any other business this evening? Hearing none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. Motion and a second. All those in favor of adjournment signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion passes. We are adjourned. 7:26.
Don't run off. Missy's got some things for you to sign, and you can stop.